Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The weather first this noontime as we deal with stifling temperatures across the region. Chelsea is in the Weather Center with the latest. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, we're starting to warm up out there. Those temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 80s range, 87 in Providence at the moment, and with dew points a little bit lower than yesterday, but still feeling really muggy out there. We're feeling a couple of degrees warmer. We're looking at temperatures right now feeling more like 89 degrees with a breeze out of the west. Now, our inland locations are where we're going to be watching for 90 degrees as we head into the afternoon. Right now, most of us sitting in the mid to upper 80s for our inland spots. 87 in Providence again, 88 in New Bedford, 87 in Taunton, and then along the Rhode Island coastline, upper 70s and low 80s. So a little bit cooler along the immediate coastline, but all of us running warmer than where we were yesterday at this time, or running sunnier than where we were yesterday, of course, as we were tracking that rain. And with the humidity levels warm or high, we're looking at those feel-like temperatures a little bit warmer than the actual temperatures. Satellite radar image shows you the dry conditions, shows you the clear conditions, almost perfect sunshine outside this afternoon. That gets us into the low 90s for the Providence area. Again, a bit cooler at the coastline. Now, humidity levels will continue to rise in the coming days. Temperatures continue to rise in the coming days. I'll have a look at how long this stretch of high heat and humidity continues here in southern New England in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And if you need to beat the heat, Providence is extending pool hours and opening up cooling centers. From today through July 23rd, water parks and pools will be open from noon until 7. Crossroads RI and libraries all over the city will be used as cooling centers through July 22nd. Cooling centers will also be open in Cranston all week. The Cranston Senior Center open from 9 until 3:30 daily, and the Central Public Library will be open 9 to 5 today through Saturday. We have a full list of all of those cooling centers up on our website. Check them out at abc6.com. And breaking news this noontime, a presidential visit to southern New England. President Biden coming to Somerset tomorrow, where he'll be making remarks on tackling the climate crisis. The Globe reporting that he's visiting the old Brighton Point power plant, which is transitioning to a wind power facility. The president has reportedly been considering declaring a climate emergency, which could allow the administration to hasten its efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and promote renewable energy. And developing today, an Exeter man facing murder charges after police say he killed a woman in their apartment. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis is live outside Washington County Courthouse. That man went before a judge just moments ago. Yanni?
Yeah, Doreen, 60-year-old Ramsundar Ramkalawan being charged with murder after police say he killed 65-year-old Donna McDonald when he struck her with a rock to death Monday morning. Now, Ramkalawan arraigned just moments ago here in court behind me, where he did not enter a plea, and he is now being held without bail. Rhode Island State Police responding to a call of a woman unresponsive in her apartment at just after 10 a.m. Monday. Upon arrival to the Exeter apartment at 561 South County Trail, police say they found 65-year-old Donna McDonald dead inside. From there, authorities launching a suspicious death investigation.
Happened to look over and I saw at least 6 or 7 police cars.
State police later arresting a 60-year-old Exeter man, Ramsundar Ramkalawan, and charging him with murder. According to police, Ramkalawan also lived at the apartment on South County Trail. He was held overnight at State Police headquarters.
We had a lot of employees that were out doing training things, and they wanted to know what was going on.
Police remained at the scene of the apartment throughout Monday and into Tuesday morning. Concerned employees at other businesses in the plaza tell ABC6 they were shocked to see the large police presence in the normally quiet area.
A lot of questions all day that we were just trying to say, you know, what is going on? What's happening here?
And Ramkalawan still being held without bail now on those murder charges that he was just arraigned on. He is due back in court on July 27th. And be sure to stick with us coming up tonight, as Hector Molina will have reaction from around the area on the news of these murder charges. Reporting outside the Washington County Courthouse, Yanni Trigelis, ABC6 News.
All right, Yanni, thank you. And an arrest in the Cadillac Lounge robbery case. 3-year-old Jonte Good appearing in court this morning. Police say Good held the 83-year-old manager of the club at gunpoint Monday afternoon and stole over $25,000 in cash, the overwhelming majority of it in $1 bills. The manager believes it could have been an inside job, as he knew about the safe with most of the lounge's money in it. The dog died and 2 police officers were taken to the hospital to be checked on after a fire at the Roosevelt Apartments in New Bedford overnight. Firefighters say 5 people, including an infant and a mother, were rescued using ladders and fire escapes. New Bedford police rescued 3 more people by carrying them to safety from the 4th floor. None of those people had to go to the hospital. The fire investigation unit is now looking into a cause. In political news today,
ever since Mom moved back in, we play cards.
I even let him win sometimes.
Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee releasing his first TV ad in the race for governor this morning. It features his 94-year-old mother, Willa, meant to appeal to Rhode Island families and highlight the progress McKee's campaign says his term has made for Rhode Islanders. The governor seeking his first full elected term in office after he was elevated to the top job in the state following Gina Raimondo's departure to become the U.S. Commerce Secretary. And Secretary of State Nellie Gorbea held an event at the State House this morning calling on Governor McKee to pass the Equality in Abortion Coverage Act, which allows for abortions to be covered by Medicaid. The bill made the rounds through the General Assembly, but it didn't get a vote before lawmakers went on break. Gorbea is running for governor, and she has the 2nd most votes behind McKee for the Democratic nomination. And now to a focus on our schools today. The North Smithfield School Committee will meet tonight as the community continues to seek answers about allegations of hazing against the high school football team. The superintendent's office learned of the incident back in June and sent a letter out to parents. DCYF and the Attorney General's office were involved in the investigation. The school committee meeting will be held at North Smithfield Middle School at 6:30 tonight. And Cranston Mayor Ken Hopkins changing his mind about pay increases for teachers in the city. The mayor had asked the city council to review teacher contracts over cost concerns, citing a bill of over $16 million. But the mayor's chief of staff says after speaking with school leaders, the administration is now in support of the new contracts. Cranston's finance committee approved the contracts last night. They now head to the full council for a vote. Still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, parents demanding answers in Uvalde. The questions officials faced after new video was released showing just how chaotic the police response was to the school shooting there. And later, the search for the missing Gatsby ship draws Governor McKee to Warwick. The status of that long-term hunt for answers. Now to the continued fallout from the Texas school massacre and an emotional forum hosted by the school board last night after that damning report by a Texas House Special Committee. The report revealed systemic failures in law enforcement's response to the Robb Elementary School mass shooting. The families of the 21 victims demanding transparency, accountability, and change. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
The grieving community of Uvalde hoping to put pain into action.
I've done my crying. Now it's time to do my fighting.
With specific demands for the Uvalde School Board.
What are you going to do to make sure I don't have to wait 77 minutes bleeding out on my classroom floor, just like my little sister did?
Students of Robb Elementary and families of the 19 children and 2 teachers killed in the massacre pushing school district officials to fire Police Chief Pete Arredondo, seen in this video pleading with the shooter.
Sir, let me know if there's any kids in there or anything. This could be peaceful.
At one point, Arredondo, who is currently on paid administrative leave, acknowledges the delayed response in confronting the gunman, who was in the school for 77 minutes before he was taken down.
You were going to ask why we're taking so long.
He says they were focused on evacuating children over approaching the attacker. Police body camera footage released by the Uvalde mayor and a scathing 77-page report from a Texas House Special Committee revealed Robb Elementary did not adequately prepare for the risk of an armed intruder on campus, and that there were systemic failures with law enforcement's response. The report also said Robb Elementary had a culture of non-compliance with safety policies. All 3 exterior doors to the school's west building were unlocked, allowing the gunman to easily walk in, and the shooter entering room 111 through a door with a lock that had been broken for months. School officials proposing to push back the district's start date from August to September so that security changes can be made, but many are skeptical they'll be done in time.
Most of those kids were my friends, and that's not good. And I don't want to go to your guys' school if they don't have protection.
Some parents are threatening to pull their kids from Uvalde schools out of fear for their safety, many also calling for an independent investigation into what happened. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And still to come on ABC6 News at noon, jewels and gems stolen from a truck in California. The heist worth tens of millions. Turning to national headlines now, the FBI has joined the investigation into a major jewelry heist in California. There's still no information being released about potential suspects. Back on July 11th, officials say a Brinks tractor trailer heading south from an exhibit near San Francisco was robbed after the driver stopped at a highway gas station rest area. Authorities believe the loss is between 100 and 150 million.
Most of the certified diamonds do have serial numbers engraved in the stones. You need a microscope to read it. All the Rolex watches and the Cartier watches all have serial numbers. A lot of this is trackable.
And some of the exhibitors say their life savings are on the line if these jewels aren't found. The Brinks driver and crew are said to be cooperating with investigators.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Well, we got a little bit of some much needed rain out there yesterday, but since then we've been clearing out. We have full sunshine outside, and now we turn the heat on. The temperatures are coming up into the mid to upper 80s at the moment. 87 in Providence, 84 in Smithfield, 88 in New Bedford, and then upper 70s and low 80s along our coastline. Those highs through the coming days are going to be hovering in the low to mid 90s range. That's without even factoring in the humidity. Average high for this time of year is 84 degrees. We're looking at a long stretch of a potentially 6 or perhaps even 7-day heat wave. The 7th day on our 7-day forecast is in the upper 80s, so it'll be close as we head into the upcoming 7-day forecast. You may be thinking that's got to be some sort of record. We have hit 7 days of 90 degrees or higher 4 times at TF Green Airport, twice in 1944, a hot year, 2002 and 2006. We've had 7 days of 90 degrees or more. There's been quite a few days of 6 days or more of 90-degree weather, and quite a few days of 5 days or more in a row of 90-degree weather. So we'll be watching that thermometer at TF Green as we head through the coming days. We're talking about certainly an extended period of heat and humidity. That being said, most of the days in the 7-day forecast have temps into the 90s. The records for the upcoming days are into the 100s, so it doesn't look like we'll be breaking any high temperature record, at least through the coming days. Breeze today is coming in from the west, so it's dropped our dew points just a few degrees. Yesterday, those dew points were in the mid-50s range, or mid-70s, mid-70s range. They were so high yesterday. It was so sticky outside yesterday. It is still muggy today, but we have this breeze coming in from the west, some gusts 15 to 25 miles per hour. It's dropped our dew points into the low to mid-60s. I mean, mid-60s is still really, really muggy outside. It's making us feel warmer than the actual temperature, and into the afternoon, those feel like temperatures come up into the mid-90s range. It's tomorrow, though, that with temperatures well into the 90s, with those dew points continuing to climb, our feel like temperatures inland will be closer to 100 degrees. Along the coastline even feel like temperatures into the 90s, and that's why there's been a heat advisory issued for tomorrow. It is hot and muggy outside today. Tomorrow, though, the heat advisory goes into place, and those humidity levels are going to continue to climb through Thursday, with some relief coming in for Friday. In terms of humidity, still really hot. Satellite radar image shows you dry, quiet conditions. I mean, barely a cloud in sight. We're going to continue to see sunshine outside for the remainder of the afternoon, which continues to warm us up. Besides some patchy fog overnight, tomorrow looks like a mostly sunny day once again, with heat, with humidity building in. Now into Thursday morning, we see some really high dew points coming into play. This is likely some dense fog to start the day on Thursday. Hazy sunshine for a lot of the day, cooler at the coastline, but inland temps still around 90 degrees. And we track the potential for some stronger thunderstorms to come through Thursday evening. And again, behind that, you get some lower dew points for Friday. Low to mid 90s outside today, though. It's a hot, muggy day. If you're along the coastline, temps are in the mid to upper 80s. So keep in mind when we look at the 7-day, I have a lot of 90s on there, but along the coast, it will be a little bit cooler. Still warm, still muggy for all of us. And if you are getting in the water, the rip current risk is at a moderate level for most of us, although for Block Island, a high level of a rip current risk. So keep in mind and use caution. Pay attention to whatever lifeguards are saying. We have patchy fog overnight. It's a warm, muggy night, and tomorrow is hot and humid. High temperatures will be into the mid-90s, 80s at the beaches. All of us feeling much warmer than the actual temperatures because of the humidity. We're talking about feel-like temperatures tomorrow inland around 100 degrees, 90s at the beaches, and those 90s will continue through most of the 7-day forecast. Even Monday, I have 88 degrees. I mean, it could get close. We could have a whole 7-day worth of a 90-degree temperature. So definitely feeling very warm. Again, records are in the 100s, so unfortunately, right. We're not going to be breaking any records here, but it's hot, it's muggy, so it's the type of weather that you want to take some frequent breaks, drink some water, be careful.
And it's crazy to think we are just in the very beginning of it all.
Oh yeah, we're not even at 90 yet.
All right, well, we'll be here every day, keep people updated. Thanks, Chelsea. Well, Governor McKee's morning included a stop for the search for the HMS Gaspee. Here's Alexis Heroic.
I am here at Gaspee Point in Warwick, Rhode Island, where we just attended a really interesting press conference led by Kathy Abbas, who is the head of RIMAP, Rhode Island Marine Archaeology Group. They're in the midst of a 2-week field study to determine the absence or presence of cultural material here at Gaspee Point. Now, to give you a little cultural context here, the Gaspee was a British ship that was sunk and burned right here at Gaspee Point in Warwick, Rhode Island. This incident in 1772 ultimately led to the American Revolution. RIMAP's goal is to share information here with the public. Governor McKee was here this morning to check in on their research. I spoke with Cathy Abbas, who told us that they have 2 sites that they're looking into this week of matter that they found that could be connected or could not be connected, but could get them closer to the answers they're looking for. It is certainly a scorcher here in Rhode Island. The archaeologists and the divers just left the press conference to head out on the boats today to check out those 2 matter sites that I mentioned earlier. We will keep you updated on their research. RIMAP is only trying to complete the history books and give Rhode Island the respect it deserves. Stay tuned.
All right, still to come here on the news at noon, a return of Pick of the Litter, hoping 3rd time's the charm for this sweet guy named Freddy.
Pick of the Litter, brought to you by Moriarty's Invisible Fence.
Welcome back. It's Tuesday. That, of course, means it's time for Pick of the Litter. And we have Sweet Freddy back with us again. We're going to say it's the 3rd time's the charm for Freddy because he was with us early in the year and then again a few months ago. And Freddy's now back. What's going on with Freddy?
All right. So the folks that have been watching for a while will remember that Freddy came to us as a hardship board surrender from a person who was living in a car.
Right.
And at the time he had a horrible eye infection,
Yeah.
which we fixed. We neutered him. Then he was skinny, full of energy, and not very well trained. It took us about 6 months to adopt him out with your help.
Sure.
We adopted him, and unfortunately, we adopted him into a situation where he again had housing insecurity. He came back to us a month ago. And when he came out of the car, he was a perfect gentleman. He's gained weight. He's sat. His owner was attached to him, but as happens a lot of times in these hardship boarding situations,
kind of out of their
we have
hands.
not heard from the owner. We've
Okay.
had him a month. So he's ready for adoption again. He did well in the home.
Okay.
His food aggression, we thought he had food aggression issues, which did not show up.
Great.
He's a big guy.
Yep.
So we think he's still better in a family with no young kids just
Sure.
because he's so big.
He's a big guy, of
But
course.
he's a sweet guy. I just don't want to keep him in the kennel much longer.
I know. He deserves to be out and about and running around and enjoying life. How does he do with other dogs? Do we know?
He is selective with other dogs.
Okay.
We've had successful meet and greets.
Okay.
He's great on a leash.
Okay.
He's not particularly dog reactive on a leash.
Okay.
But he's a strong dog.
So if you had a dog and we're interested in Freddy, we could perhaps facilitate the meet and greet?
Yes, absolutely, and we would love to see if that happens. Now, he did, just for people, again, who have been watching, Freddie snores in the household, so he wants to sleep not on the bed, but next to the bed.
Okay.
And it can be like being married to someone who snores.
Right, there you go. All right.
But other than that, I really like Freddie. I was delighted to see him come back,
Okay.
and I am distressed that we've still got him.
All right. Well, like I said, third time's the charm for Freddie. We are going to find him the perfect home for him to enjoy his time. Thank you so much. If you are interested in Freddie, contact the RSPCA at 401-438-8150.
Thank you.
Temperatures climbing outside today. We are sitting in the upper 80s right now, making it into the low 90s this afternoon. We're going to hover in the low to mid 90s for the coming days. Humidity will continue to build in the coming days, and that makes us feel even warmer tomorrow. Feel like temperatures closer to 100 degrees for our inland spots, even 90s at the coastline with the humidity factored in. And that's just continuing. Our next chance of a few thunderstorms comes Thursday evening.
Okay, we have cooling centers listed on our website, so be sure to check that out and tune into ABC6 News first to 4. Have a great day.